Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we are getting ready to start some seeds so we can plant them on the weekend. We were supposed to do this last weekend, but it rained. We got a lot of rain, cold front blew in, dropped into the 40s. So I was like, well, just never mind. And we will plant the next weekend. Now it's been probably a year or so since we've talked about seed stockpiles and stockpiling seeds and various other things. And see, this is my primary seed collection. I got a lot of peas in here, like Roma 2 snap bean, 3/19/2011, and try to date when I bought all this. And what we're doing, there's some contender bush bean. We're going to be planting some of that. Got some corn, some purple hull pink eye, and what else do we have here? Blue lake bush. Now notice a lot of these are in 2011. 3/19/2011, 3/19/2011, 3/19/2011. I made a run to the local feed store and bought up a bunch of seeds on that day. Alright, so blue lake bush. My wife and I want to plant a bunch of snap beans this year. And so what we're going to be doing is getting some squash. That's purple hull turnip. That's cold weather. If you plant turnip, radishes, leafy greens in the summer, the bugs will come out and eat them. They just don't do very well. So there's spinach. We might plant some spinach. These are in the little brown box, the little brown ones. These are ones that I harvested from stuff that I've grown myself, or I bought from the store and harvested seeds. Like I harvested these on 2007. All right, what we're looking for is squash. Stuff like this we bought at the store. It's like $1 or something. So I'm going to go ahead and just plant that and get it out of my box. Let's see, zucchini. This here is 50 cents. Bought this at the feed store. I didn't date it. This is like $1, and this is like 50 cents. So going to the local feed store and supporting the local businesses, it's going to help everybody in the end instead of buying through the local China Mart. Alright, so what do we have here? More squash and sweet G90 corn, Trucker's Delight, contender bush, snap bean. So what we're going to do is we're going to take squash and zucchini and lay it on this, pour water on it, lay another towel, and get these seeds to sprouting so we can plant them on this coming weekend. This is that I found. I found two things of straight neck squash. I like the straight neck better than the crook neck, so that's what we're going to go with. My wife said that's fine. Alright, so I'm going to plant two different types of watermelon. We've got Jubilee watermelon and Congo watermelon. You see a lot of the Jubilee in the grocery store. These are the ones that are oblong and got the stripes running through it. I think the Congo is a more round watermelon. We're going to be planting these on the edge of the field and letting them run out. We're going to plant some contender bush bean, Roma 2, straight neck squash, and then some zucchini squash. And we're going to go ahead and use up these squash little packets that we bought. We're just going to go ahead and use these up instead of the ones that we got from the feed store. Something that needs to be mentioned is zucchini and squash are in the same family. If you plant squash, straight neck squash, next to zucchini, they will cross-pollinate and produce a hybrid. So if you wanted to save the seeds from these, you would plant the squash in one field, the zucchini in another field as far away from each other as possible, or just plant one or the other if you're going to save seeds. Because what will happen is you save the seeds, they cross-pollinate, save the seeds. Next year it may produce, but on your second harvest of your seeds, may not produce. So if you're looking for the long term, if you want to harvest these seeds for later on down the years, you want to plant your squash and your zucchini. See, zucchini is a member of the squash family. You want to plant your straight neck squash, crook neck squash, and zucchini far apart so they don't cross-pollinate and produce a hybrid. So here we go. We've got zucchini, which is a member of the squash family, straight neck squash, Roma 2 snap bean, contender bush bean, Jubilee watermelon, Congo watermelon. So we've got tomatoes that we've already got planted, that we've bought from a store, and we're going to be planting them at the same time we plant these. Now remember, all we're doing here is just putting water on these to kickstart them, so that we're not relying on rain to get them germinated. Because if we plant them, it doesn't rain for a week, then they're not going to germinate for a week. We cover them with water, put a towel over them, they'll sit here, they'll start germinating, say 48 hours or so, and then we'll be able to tell which seeds are going to be doing, which ones are going to germinate, which ones aren't, cull the ones that aren't, replace them with other ones, and if we decide this is not enough, then we'll go in and we'll add some more seeds. So all we're doing right now is just kind of kick-starting. Take this towel right here, we're just going to lay it over the top of them. Trying to do this one-handed. Something like that. And that towel will soak up the water and make sure that the seeds are wet all the way around. And all we're going to do is take and just pour that water on there, just using a cookie sheet. You may set them out in the sun to get them, warm them up a little bit, because some seeds don't germinate unless they reach a certain temperature. So we'll make sure that these get a little warm, get a little wet, keep them wet, and we'll check them in say 24 hours and see how they're doing. Alright guys and gals, I'll talk to y'all later. Oh yeah, now it's time to put all these back in the freezer so that they stay good. I'll talk to y'all later.